What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at the rear caliper, specifically the pins that the rear caliper is mounted on. As with most used vehicles out there, when the previous owner changed the brake pads, they only changed the brake pads. They didn't spend the time to take the pins out, make sure that they moved, clean them, re-grease them, put them back in, which caused those pins to seize. Because those pins seized, it doesn't allow the caliper to slide forward and back like it's supposed to. Hence, it creates uneven wear on the brake pads and a decrease in stopping power. The easiest fix for this is to replace the bracket along with the pins and brand new boots. All the tools and parts that I use in this video are listed in the description down below, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. Before we get started, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button, and for more Land Cruiser and Overland content, don't forget to subscribe. So these are the parts that I got for this job. I got a brand new brake caliper bracket for the rear, obviously, some new bolts, and it comes with the pins. These are the ones that are stuck in the car. And then I've got some new grommets, the little dust shields, the little rubber ones. I'll have a link in the description down below for where you can get all of these items. They weren't very expensive because they were aftermarket, not original from Toyota. So now with the rear wheel removed, you'll need to take off the caliper, which is this bolt right here and this guy right here. And I believe these are 14 mils. And to get the caliper bracket off, so one we've got up here, if you can see that, and then the other one is down here. See how this one moves? The pin inside? That's supposed to be normal. The top one, the pin is seized. That's why I was able to loosen the bolt out without the pin moving around. So this size for the pin is actually a 17 mil, which I don't have something thin enough to put in there. So I'm just going to use the vice grips for right now because we don't care about these anyways. Slide the caliper out. Make sure you have your make sure you don't lean it on the brake line, like you don't have it just kind of dangling, because these are fragile and if they start leaking you will lose brakes. So now we have the brake pad. Out. And now, normally, this pin is able to move freely like this, and you're technically supposed to be able to pull them out to put anti-seize on them every time you do your brakes. However, on mine, this top one is completely seized. So the only way to fix that is to completely replace this guy, the boot, and the pin itself. So to get to that, to take this off, we'll need to take off the 17s on the back. The two, and that's the whole bracket out. Normally these guys don't seize up like this. If it's been properly maintained, there should be some type of anti-seize in there to keep it lubed up and move.
be able to move around freely, because what happens is when the caliper presses together, these pins need to move forward and back, but when it doesn't move, that's when you get uneven wear on the brake pads. So these are going to go bye-bye. So the old bracket compared to the new bracket, they're more or less the same. As I said before, this pin is seized in here. That's why we're changing this in the first place. So we've got new ones right here. But what I wanted to remind you before you throw this guy away is you want to switch over these little clips for the hardware. You want to put them in the new bracket. Sit something like that. So let me switch these guys over real quick. So after you put the clips in, obviously you want to use these new pins. And let's take a look at these guys here. So it looks like more or less very, very similar. There's a little bit of difference. I wonder if that matters here. Okay, so these two guys are slightly different. I didn't know which one went where because my old ones were both seized in there. I couldn't take them out. However, luckily on the other side, the bottom one was able to come out, and it looks exactly like, well, not this one, exactly like this guy, more or less. So I think this one will go on the bottom, and the smooth one will go on top. Don't forget to put these guys in. So here is the completed product. We've got both pins in with little dust boots, and they both spin freely, which is really good. There's already grease installed in these, so I'm just gonna leave that as is. If I were to do it over again, like next time, like when I replace the brake pads, I'd probably put some anti-seize in there instead of grease, but it's up to you. We've got the little hardware clips already installed for the brake pads, and this guy is basically ready for install. I actually got new pads for the rear too. This side wasn't as bad, but the other side was very, very lopsided, the wear. So just use one of the old brake pads, like so. C-clamp. There we go. Perfect. Pistons pushed back in. Are ready for install. Install. So as you can see, as I'm trying to tighten these guys, the pin is already spinning. So what you want to do, have your wrench right there, and then tighten the bolt at the end. These guys don't need to be super tight because obviously it doesn't make sense. The little pin spins at the bottom. So as long as they're snug, you should be okay. There we go. Now the caliper is supposed to move like this. Once you step on the brake for the first time, the piston pushes the brake pad into the rotor, hence clamping down, and it won't have this movement anymore. So right now it should be doing this, but once you brake for the first time, it won't have that slack anymore. So I wanted to show you this. This is the pads from the other side, and as you can see, it's kind of like slanted, kind of like this, the wear. That's because the pins, one of them was seized. So if you have uneven wear, make sure you check those pins and make sure they move freely and are able to come out. If not, take them out, clean them up with a little bit of wire brush, re-grease them, put anti-seize on them, put them back in. But worst comes to worst, if you're like me, then you gotta just do the whole new brake caliper bracket.
And that is it. Now, after installing the caliper bracket and the caliper pins, I did notice a huge improvement in pedal feel. Braking and stopping power has increased significantly as well. Next time you're back there changing out the rear brake pads, why not spend an extra couple minutes taking those pins out, cleaning, and re-lubing them. That's it for this video. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, and for more Land Cruiser and Overland content, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.